flaming, the flaming chalice is a symbol of our faith. We light it knowing this morning that many other Unitarian Universalist congregations across this land and around the world are doing the same. We light our chalice with words from Northwest UU's mission statement. Please repeat after me. We light this flame to grow in spirit, knowledge, and action.
We light this flame to grow in spirit, knowledge, and action.
Accept and challenge one another.
Accept and challenge one another.
To support each other in times of joy and need.
Support each other in times of joy and need. We also each week offer this land acknowledgement. We honor and pay our respects to the land on which we live and work, which was violently stolen through colonialism, genocide, and forced removal of its traditional stewards. These stewards are the Anishinaabe, the Council of Three Fires, which include the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi, also known as the Ottawa, Chippewa, and Potawatomi tribes. We also acknowledge the people of African descent who were forcibly removed from their land and separated from their families through kidnapping and enslavement, and pay reverence and respect to them for building this country's infrastructure and economy with no compensation or reparations to date. If you would now rise and join me in singing our opening hymn, Break Not the Circle. It's number 323.
Each week, Northwest UU shares its plate collection with a community partner.
We added a story so that you all could see Andrea work, and I didn't tell Joanne about it. Good morning.
Remember my first UU congregation. I arrived there with husband and 4 children, this tall on down to diapers, and it's always such a wonderful experience for me to be in a new congregation. So, hi. So one of our UUA staff members, Shannon Harper, came up with a story for the times that our congregations are passing through. And I'm going to ask you to help me imagine it with your creativity and your bodies. It's an experiment. Let's see how it goes. It might work, or it might be what I call an experi-fail, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to ask that you come up when we can imagine some things. And here's the story, Keepers of the Garden. Once upon a time, we were the keepers of a garden near a river. There were some things in the garden that were wonderful, like the shade of a big oak tree. What other good things might be in that garden? What are good things about your garden that you've always had? Flowers. Could you be a flower for me? Okay, could be over here. I gotcha. Sunny flowers. Maybe a black-eyed Susan. I've heard that you have a beautiful chalice window. I took a picture of it, and it's going to be my chalice of the day coming up. That's something I do on Facebook, and there's thousands of them already. Could I ask you, Julie, to be our chalice window? Maybe like this? Some things were okay, but not well used. Like maybe there was a tall metal slide that was too slippery and too steep. Anybody could be my slide? Thank you. Count on your ex-educator. Some things were definitely not so great. Like there was some poison ivy around the fence. I don't want to ask you to do that one. Okay, warning, here comes the flood. We need somebody to wash through. So one day there was a flood and it washed almost everything away. All right. Okay, so probably these two things are going to stay, but the flowers and the slide have to sit down. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that window was created so that it would be really durable. There were still some things that were sturdy and strong enough and important enough for us to hold on to, like the oak tree and the window. But most of the garden got swept away, like the tall slide and the flowers, and what was left in place was rich, dark earth. Fertile earth, full of the nutrients and things that were brought up with the rising water. While the waters were receding, we grieved the loss of our garden. We looked around at the land and began to prepare ourselves for the work of replanting. For a little while, we actually just had to focus on surviving, like finding enough food and water. Sometimes we had to rope off an area that had just too much damage to the land and put up a sign that said, "This piece of ground is resting. Please explore the path to the right and go around this area." Slowly, we began to realize we had the opportunity to design something really amazing. The garden still had the tree, and we still had the window, but now we had even more fertile ground. We could design and plan something that would serve all who remained. Instead of the too tall, slippery slide, perhaps we decided to have a swing hanging from the tree. Could our slide turn into a... Yeah, come on. Maybe we build something new, like a bridge over the river. Flood, do you want to come out and be a bridge? Oh, you could be a bridge together. That's way better than the last person who actually did a back bend, which I was worried about them. What else might we build? A planter. Come on up and be our planter. Maybe this time we'll have a little bit more durable planter that could withstand the rising water. So in the future, You know, I almost want a photo of this. Somebody take a picture. In the future, our garden won't look exactly like the one before because we have changed. Our needs have changed, and the land has changed. But we know it can be everything we need if we listen to what our hearts tell us. We'll have to go slowly because it takes time to heal. We might even have to stop and rest for a bit or change something we thought might work out at first, but then find out it didn't, and we try something else. But with each new step, we will rejoice because of our accomplishments, and especially because we're doing it together. Thank you, all participants. Oh, no. We have a little really beautiful heart, maybe a paperclip up here. So it comes as no surprise that this morning's Keepers of the Garden story could be about a flood, could be about a change in staffing, a building change, or a pandemic with a building closure and move to online and multi-platform worship. You have been through so many changes over the past few years, so let's just all take a big breath and let out a collective sigh. Ready? While the urge to restore the good old days immediately is understandable, it seems to me that you are wise to take your time and reflect carefully on the options open to you. It may turn out the paths you take may be the same or very different from the way you've always perceived things to be. Thank you.
Each week, Northwest UU shares its plate collection with a community partner. This month, that partner is Southfield Emergency Needs Fund. Every month throughout the year, Northwest shares 50% of its plate collection with the Southwest Emergency Needs Fund. Their goal is to help residents overcome personal hurdles to achieve a satisfying and productive quality of life. Human Services is a division of Southfield Community Relations. All undesignated donations will be split between Southfield Emergency Needs Fund and our congregation. You can give in a variety of ways that are now visible on your screen. For those here in person, we will pass a collection basket for checks and cash. We honor your generosity by committing to ensure that our collective resources do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done individually.
I'm Reverend Teresa Rolk, your Minister of Pastoral Care. And before we do Joys and Sorrows, I want you to know that I'm available to support the pastoral needs of this community. You can drop into the weekly Zoom room that I have on Fridays, but always check the e-newsletter. Some weeks I'm away, but the dates and the links are listed there. I'm also very happy to make one-on-one appointments with you for a Zoom or a phone call. And you can email pastoralcare@northwestuu.org. I know it's not easy to have a pastoral care minister who is mostly only available virtually. But I'm grateful to all of you who have made the leap of faith and tried to connect anyway. It's important to me that you are seen and heard, especially during times of difficulty. For the next few months, the collective cares of our community will be recorded in our Book of Joys and Sorrows, which will remain on the red cabinet out back near the name tags. We are working on a way to have the community pastoral news printed in the newsletter each week, and soon we will have a virtual form available for those on Zoom. I really appreciate your patience as we work out the logistics of these things. So let's center ourselves and prepare to hear these words with open and loving hearts. And when I mention your name, if you would raise your hand so that we can connect with each other that way. So first from Joanne Cantoni, who's up here. Joanne is excited because her sister arrived and they've been enjoying time together, being together with extended family, which includes the sister, the cousins, who are 93 and 87. What a lovely, joyful thing to have. And Jan Price, where's Jan? Jerry and Jan are excited to be visiting their son, Seth, in Arkansas in a week or so. May you have safe travels for that. And Mary Mueller, who's Mary? And Colleen. Mixed joy and sorrow. Colleen and Mary are scheduled to close tomorrow on the sale of the home they've shared for 36 years. That's half of their lives in Northwest Detroit. And I assume the joy is that you're moving to some other place nearby. Yes. And that is happening. Wonderful, wonderful. So if you would just for a moment, a couple breaths. For these and all the other joys and sorrows that are held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, I offer this prayer. Sources of radiance and resilience, keep watch with those who work or watch or weep this night. May the suffering be soothed, may the sick be tended, may the weary find rest, may the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded, and may all know that we are surrounded in a love that is with us always, a web that connects us to all that exists. Amen. Now, if you would join me in a few moments of silence as we hold each other in love. This time of stillness will be followed by singing Spirit of Life.
A reading from A House for Hope by Rebecca Parker. We who have crossed many thresholds already to arrive in this space and time. Perhaps we came from identities and locations that didn't embrace the fullness of who we are. We have come across distances and boundaries, discovering what has beckoned us to a deeper life and challenged us to change, coming with our loves, our partners, our children, our memories, our knowledge, our wisdom, our willingness. Coming to our senses, our awareness of the critical issues that threaten the well-being of Earth's creatures, communities, and cultures, coming again to decisions and commitments and hopes, determinations that we know matter. And we are here at this threshold, the threshold of this house of worship, where minds and hearts are on fire, or they ought to be. The threshold of this house of spirit, where prayer and contemplation take us deeper. The threshold of a house for hope, for greater justice and compassion in the world, the threshold for a house of history that can inform our present lives and link us to a communion that crosses the boundary of fear of what comes next. The threshold of a house of preparation for the thresholds that we will lead others to cross, for the thresholds yet to come, for the threshold the world stands on, poised now, as always, between possibility and violence. Come, let us cross this threshold together. I invite you now to join and rise in singing in the Teal hymnal, When I Am Frightened, number 1012.
When I am frightened, you assure me. When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? Will you show me compassion? Then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to bear. When I am hungry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe in me? Stand by me willingly. Will you share some of your questions with me? Will you show me acceptance? Then I may learn to give as you do. Then I may learn to give. When I am troubled, will you listen to me? When I am lonely, will you be my friend? Will you believe in me, comfort me tenderly? Will you share some of your feelings with me? Will show me commitment? Then I may learn to love as you do. Then I may learn
Dear ones, I invite you now into a ritual of letting go and opening up. I think everyone by now has a stone, and if not, we have some right here in the front basket. Yeah, on this first chair right here. If you don't have a stone, oh my goodness, many people do not have a stone. No worries. We're grateful you're here. And now you will all have stones. Wonderful. And if you are on Zoom and you have your stone or something nearby, you can please pick that up now. Wonderful. Do you want to start? Jan, can you bring our pianist a stone also? Jan, when you're done, you can bring Brendan a stone too. So everyone has a stone. Okay, if you will, hold the stone in the palm of your hand and feel the texture. Is it smooth? Is it rough? Uneven? Is it pleasant? Imbue the stone with all the things that are heavy for you right now. Things that are heavy for you personally. Are you holding anger, grief, sadness, frustration? Are you feeling overwhelmed because of family or relationship difficulties, complex medical concerns? Or are you just simply tired? Add these heavy things to the weight of this stone. In a moment, you will release the stone into the water that's here in front. The water includes water from our water communion ceremony. This signifies there is a collective body, this congregation, that is available to help each of us hold these heavy things. And as you place the stone, if you wish, you may say out loud to myself or to Julie the thing that you are letting go of. Now first, for those on Zoom, symbolically, you can place your stones here in this bowl. And if you want to, you can add in the chat what it is you are letting go of. So I hear several stones falling into this bowl. Now, for those who are present but coming up forward would be a little bit of a difficulty or challenge, we can bring the bowl to you. Julie will do that. Is there anyone who would like that? Please raise your hand and we can bring the bowl forward for you. Julie, do you want to? Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Okay. And one more. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you each. These will be added to our communal bowl with everyone. So in a moment, I invite you to come forward. There's no need to rush this, and if you would pace yourself, leave space, not to crowd the table, but you know how to do this, I've been told. So we'll have some beautiful music happening while this bit of the ritual is going on to start. So please come forward as you are ready. So you each received a feather. In contrast to the stones you let go, the feather is light. It can float, it is soft, it is symbolic of the lightness we carry as we open up to new possibilities. Now that we have let go of what is weighing us down, think about where you want to be going. What's the journey ahead? How will you get there? Think about your personal journeys and the collective journey this congregation is experiencing. Where is Northwest UU going? I believe wherever it is, the only way to get there is by opening ourselves to new possibilities in community. Yes, the road is at times muddy and rough, and it can be uneven and unpredictable. The road signs may seem missing, or suddenly there are new signs. Turn here, construction zone, detour, speed limit change, watch for children. But even so, there are still smooth, newly paved paths to travel upon. There are no potholes. There are clear markings on the pavement, newly painted turn lanes, crosswalks, bicycle lanes. The things that open us up to new journeys and new adventures. May we each find a bit more space in our hearts for this feather to float upon. May we open up to the possibilities ahead. Now, we recognize that for some, the longing to share and to speak out loud is a deep one. And today, Reverend Julie and I will facilitate a chance for you to speak out loud to everyone. I will invite anyone who wants to share in a few words or a sentence what you are letting go of with that stone. For example, I'm letting go of my need for perfection. Just a very brief statement. I'll come around with the microphone, and after that, Reverend Julie will facilitate the same, allowing you to say what possibilities you are opening up to. Where do you hope to be going? Again, just a few words or a sentence. So we'll begin with letting go. I know many of you shared that as you came forward, and that maybe was enough, or you don't feel you want to share. But we're going to give an opportunity if you'd like that. So if you do, you can let me know. If you would like to share the things you are opening up to, since you didn't speak those necessarily out loud to us, we'll have a chance for that.
I think I'll open up to the possibility of having a Zoom call with Reverend Teresa.
Hi, when problems don't have easy solutions, it's easy to fall into hopelessness, but I'm trying to be more hopeful, and I think it's working.
The amazing thing about ritual is that sometimes once you do it, you don't need any words. Would you rise and join me in singing our final hymn, Wo Ya Ya, in your teal hymnal? The number will come on the screen shortly, I believe. 1020.
Heaven knows that we will get there, but we know we will. but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah, we are going. Heaven knows where we are going,
but we know within.
and we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah.
Please rise in body and/or spirit and face each other for the close of the service. We will now extinguish our chalice. Please repeat after me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of hope. The warmth of community. Or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I've asked you, stay standing for just a second. I promise I'll be brief. Or just do whatever your body makes comfortable. But look at each other. Look at each other. I've asked you all to look at each other because Jan said something that was heavy on my heart: hopelessness. There's so much change. There's, I'm gonna say the G word, some grief. There is some need to be together, but look at the gorgeous human beings that have assembled in this room today at this moment. Amongst such company, how could we despair? We will take some moments to drink coffee, and then we will come back and gather and ask good questions. Go in peace, return in love, be seated, and listen to the beautiful postlude.
This is actually a vocal coach, so you don't call him a song with me. Oh, healing river, send down your water, send down your waters, send down your waters upon this land. Oh, healing river, send down your waters and wash the blood from off the sand. This land is parching, this land is burning, no seed is growing in the barren ground. Oh, healing river, send down your waters. Oh, healing river, send your waters down. Let the seed of freedom awake and flourish. Let the deep roots nourish. Let the tall stalks rise. Oh, healing river, send down your waters. Oh, healing river, from out the skies.
Yeah.